So about 10 years ago, we went back to the town that I'm from. It was either for Christmas or for a funeral. I can't remember which right now. But either way, we went back out to the farmhouse, the farm that I'm from, to spend the night. And my girlfriend at the time, who was with me, we decided to go take a walk around the farm. She hadn't been there before, really, and wanted to look around. And I was totally okay with that. So we went for a walk around the property, taking a look at some stuff, just pointing out little landmarks that were on the farm and things that I remembered from when I was young. We kind of walked a bit of a trail that I used to ride the motorbike around as a kid. So we went up this hill through like some paddocks to like a water tank, and looked at the scrub in the paddock, which is like a big kind of thicket of trees in the middle of a crop. The opposite paddock had this little island that's just kind of like an oasis. I used to think it was like an oasis with some trees growing on it, and I'd imagine that the crop was like water and it was a little deserted island, desert island. And we'd go back down to the sheds and past like this little pond, which I always found to be like a really magical little body of water on the farm. We walked between the sheds in this big wood heap, and I was just pointing things out. And went back around through the sheds and past this large peppercorn tree that was like, when I was a kid, I was given like this picture book story by some family friends who were kind of arty, and they gave me this story at Easter time about how the Easter Bunny lived underneath that tree, which I found really terrifying. I told her that, and then we walked through the sheds a bit more, and we passed this shed that had this old car that I crashed when I was a kid in it. It's an old Ford. And down through, kind of like getting to the home stretch, and we were walking through this kind of home stretch part back towards the homestead, and there was this big pile of wood right there. The neighbours were using our farm, so they'd probably put it there. And as we kind of approached this like stack of wood, I heard this galloping sound coming from behind us, coming towards us, like a horse was running towards us. And before I could do anything, my girlfriend looked over my shoulder and just let out this blood-curdling scream. And I turned and looked, and I saw what was like an 8-foot-tall creature running at about 200 kilometers an hour straight towards us from the trees back there next to the sheds, near the peppercorn tree. And it ran straight to us, and behind the pile of wood. It was so fast, it was like a blur. I couldn't really make out any proper features on it. But it was like an 8-foot-tall, skinny human, totally white, with no clothes, and no features, running so fast it was a blur. And it went behind the wood heap. And it sounded like a horse galloping. It sounded heavy. And I thought this thing was going to kill us. And right away, my girlfriend was like, "Brett, what was that? What the fuck was that?" She's terrified. I was pretty scared too, but I wasn't about to let my fear of this unknown thing that just happened, take over me. So, and also I really wanted to see what it was again. So I went around the pile of wood to get a good look at it before it killed me, because this thing was like huge and very fast, so very high chance I was about to die, but I just wanted to get a good look at it before I died. So I walked around the pile of wood, and there was just nothing there at all. And I went right around the wood, and I saw her on the other side, and she was like, "Where did it go?" And I'm like, I don't know where that went. And she asked me what it was again, and I said I honestly have no idea what that thing was. And so we quickly got out of there and went back to the house, and rushed inside and went back to the room that we were sleeping in, where she asked me again, "Brett, what was that?" And again, I didn't know what that thing was, but we were both very, very frightened. And so we got into bed, and I slept beside the window in that room, and I had a feeling like that we wouldn't see it again, at least not that night. and it wouldn't come to the window or anything, you know, like it seemed like it was like just as afraid of us or something. It had a real animal kind of quality to it, not really a human quality, more like a creature, an animal. And yeah, we went to sleep and I just was wondering what that thing was, and it kind of made me think a lot about when I was a kid. I would lay in bed at night, and if the curtains were open a little tiny bit, I'd want to close them over, so like pinch them shut, thinking that, or feeling like there was something outside like looking in at me, and I wondered if that was the thing that I felt looking in at me.